Hello everyone, it is Irie, Public Studs, and welcome to Ask the Stud, Episode 7. Okay guys, right out of the gate, I'm gonna be real with you. We are so close to 25,000 subscribers. It is insane. Please hit that subscribe button right now. I'm just cutting right to the chase. Hit it now, we are so close, it will help me out a ton. Okay, so hey everyone, happy Veterans Day. If you are a veteran or you know a veteran watching, I want to give a huge thank you to you for your service to this country. Obviously, today in the United States, as of uploading this, is Veterans Day. It's actually Sunday, as of uploading this. Which also means the UCS AT&T has probably been revealed, so hey, how does that look? But yeah, again, huge thank you to our veterans. Words cannot describe how grateful I am to you, and there's nothing we can do to repay that back other than sit here in awe and be appreciative. So thank you again, veterans. With that said, we're going to get right on into the questions. Also, if you would like your question to be answered, remember to go in the comments and use the hashtag #AskTheStud, and I will answer your question in the next episode, hopefully. I try to get to most of them, so yeah, just type it down there, and I'll hopefully answer it. Now, first up, we have a question from That Classic Brick. For those who don't know, all members get first dibs on getting their questions answered, pretty much always. So let's get right into this. Now, his question is, #AskTheStud, do you think that LEGO will make a General Grievous ship from Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith? Now, I assume you don't mean his Starfighter. Now, his Starfighter was obviously made in 2020. What I think you actually mean is the Invisible Hand. Now, the Invisible Hand is obviously Providence-class destroyer, the Separatist capital ship from Episode 3 that we saw fighting the Venator in the beginning of Episode 3. And we've seen it throughout Clone Wars, we've seen it in other mediums. Obviously, a really, really cool ship, and I'm pretty sure it even appeared in Episode 9. In the background, of course. Now, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say, yeah, I do think that we actually gonna get this set. Now, I know that sounds totally crazy, and a lot of people are like, nah, LEGO is not that generous, but I feel like it's gonna be in the distant future. It's not gonna happen in the next 3 years, but I think, you know, just with the general, but more focus on prequels as time goes on, I feel like there's a possibility that we could see that. Now, the other possibility is they could do stuff for the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith, which, as opposed to Attack of the Clones, which I'm not as confident on, I do actually seriously think that they're going to start doing stuff for Revenge of the Sith. And in that form, I do think the Providence is a very, very likely pick for a ship they could do. You know, I think around $100, $200, possibly even some sort of UCS model. I think they'd do a Venator first. And honestly, first I'd even say the droid control ship would be a much more likely model for them to do. But the Providence is certainly in the pipeline. I'm sure it's going to happen eventually. I'm not sure when, but it's going to happen. It's more just a matter of when and how. But because it's not too difficult of a ship design, and I feel like it's iconic enough that it would sell well, and if you have a good figure selection, that's all you really need. Now, next up, we have a question from John Doe. John Doe asks, besides the Star Wars CMF series, what CMF would you like the most? Now, first off, there was a prediction thing, and nobody pointed this out to me until now, but there's a chance that later on next year, and I love this, they do a Peanuts CMF. Now, for those who don't know, Peanuts is Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown's this pretty popular cartoon slash comic series in the United States. I don't know if it is in the rest of the world, but you know, everyone watches Charlie Brown when the holidays come around. I just watched the Charlie Brown Great Pumpkin, and obviously I have to watch the Thanksgiving one soon, and then they do the Christmas ones, all classics, obviously. So I'd love to see that with Snoopy and Charlie Brown and the whole gang. That would be great. That's like a perfect sized cast to do a CMF series of, by the way. You get pretty much everyone important. Now, next up, I'd love to see a Sesame Street one. I know that's totally random, but they did do the Sesame Street set, and they're doing a Muppet CMF. I feel like that makes sense. And I know you asked for one, but I'm gonna throw out two more. Toy Story, I think that would be great, you know, just to get all the characters. I'd love to see that. It's an easy way to get all of them. I personally have had a hard time getting those because I did not collect Toy Story 3 when they did those sets. And also, I would love to see them return to LEGO SpongeBob with a SpongeBob CMF, which I think is also a pretty likely possibility. I want to throw that out there. Now, next up, we have a question from Jabba Blabber. Could you see LEGO making any more Rebels sets, since they never made any Season 3 or 4 sets, and the Ghost remake would go a long way? Thanks, Jabba. Now, first off, that is kind of inaccurate, because they did do the Phantom set with Thrawn, as well as Kanan from that. That's a whole exclusive thing, so I guess you forgot about that, but that's okay. Now, my simple and straightforward answer with this is honestly no. Now, this is unfortunate, but I think this is the simple reason that there is so much stuff coming down the pipeline in the next few years, and LEGO is just not going to have a lot of time to make things from a show that came out, that just ended in 2018. So here are like the shows that are coming out. We are getting as follows: the Book of Boba Fett, the Andor TV show, the Kenobi show, the Bad Batch Season 2, Ahsoka, The Mandalorian Season 3, and supposedly, and this was just a rumor that's supposed to, be confirmed, November 12th, which is Disney Plus Day, so look out for that. There's going to be a load of news November 12th. But we're gonna get some sort of new, the Clone Wars style, show following Maul running the Crimson Dawn after the Clone Wars. That's going to be in 2023, so that's not that far away. And again, the last episode of Rebels was in early 2018, so I don't see it as very likely. They've hit on pretty much everything. Obviously, I'd love to see a new Ghost. I don't personally own the Ghost, and it's like $600 now, which is insane. And there are certainly some characters they need to redo from the later seasons, like Ezra, Sabine, and Zeb. I feel like they needed to redo those characters from that show. But yeah, I don't see us getting any more Rebel sets anytime in the near future, unfortunately. Maybe if a Rebels character appears in a future show, like if Ezra appears in Ahsoka, which is rumored to be true, then we might see something. Now, next up, we have a question from an awesome guy named Awesome Shark. And he asks, will we ever get the type of Rebellion capital ships such as the Home 1 or Nebulon B frigate as UCS sets or big play sets? Now, first off, yes, Nebulon. Nebulon's absolutely going to happen. It's purely a matter of time. It's probably going to be 2022, if not 2023, 2024. Now, that is solely because they said that they're going to be making these sets in the UCS gunship vote. They're going to be making those later on, so we don't have to worry. So I'm almost certain we're going to be getting a Nebulon B like that. That's a without a doubt type set. As for the Home 1, as much as I would absolutely love a Home 1, like that is one of my most wanted original trilogy sets. In fact, that's my only really most wanted original trilogy set. I have zero faith that this will be made. Now, I could be proven totally wrong, but just, it's a lot of factors. First off, the shape. It's a weird shape. It's not like pretty much any other type of fighter. It's obviously very unique in its shape, and I feel like that's to its detriment when it comes to a Lego model. They're all very curved, and Lego's not great with curvature, and obviously curved pieces are very expensive. So, if they had to do one, it would probably end up costing, like, $600, and I don't think Lego thinks it's iconic enough. And I don't think anyone really knows what the Mon Calamari ship is. And I don't think anyone would be willing to fork out $600, $700, $800 for a Mon Calamari starfighter. It's so obscure. And if they want to do a decently scaled one, I just don't think it's in the pipeline anytime in the future. As much as I would love one. And if they could do a small playset, I would even love that. Like with the Avengers, they did Thanos' ship. That giant ship that he had, they made it that small down version. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of that, but I'd love them to do something like that with the Mon Calamari ship. Maybe make it like $50. I don't care. I just want to see a Home 1. That is it. Now, next up, we have a question from a guy whose name I cannot pronounce. Do you think that LEGO will update the colors of Boba Fett's helmet and jetpack for the upcoming Book of Boba Fett sets? Thanks. Now, I have a quick answer for this. No, this is not going to be the case. Unfortunately, now I can pretty much confirm this because actually LEGO did release a poster for the Book of Boba Fett, like a whole LEGO poster, and this was a thing I didn't really cover on this channel because I didn't think it was worth a full video, but it was still something interesting. You do get the whole throne here, but I don't think it's going to be anything like changed because LEGO's, I feel like, going to be kind of lazy on this one. Also, you look at the markings. They're the exact same markings as the one we got on the Slave one, and honestly, why would they change it? This is LEGO's own design, and it's working for them, so chances are, no. I mean, there's a possibility in the future it might happen if they, get enough feedback, but I sincerely doubt that they are going to be doing anything of the sort, as much as I would like them to. Believe me, I more than anyone would love to see them fix that. Now, next up, we have a question from Brix. How do you feel about the Monkey Kid theme? It honestly surprised me how awesome it really is. Now, to be honest, I know next to nothing about Monkey Kid. I remember when it was first revealed, they had the cool Darth Maul-sized lightsaber hilt, and that was it. That was all I knew about them. But upon looking at them, I've looked at them, casually, and I didn't even pull up them for this question. But, there's one set that I absolutely love, and it is, this one with, these shipping containers. I think it's, the coolest little build. Like, a ship with a bunch of shipping containers. That's it. And I think these containers are, the coolest little thing. And I wish they did more of those, because that looks really, really cool. And yeah, they're really cool. They're nothing I would personally buy. I like sticking to my Star Wars where my bread is buttered. But yeah, it's certainly neat. Now, next up, we have a question from Scope. What is your favorite LEGO figure this year? Now, I actually put down a few, because I don't like answering with just one, because there were a few good ones. First off, I know it was overused this year, and we have kind of gotten bored of it, but Beskar Mando, when we first found out about this figure, we were also hyped. Obviously, we found out he was going to be in the show a lot more. It's a great looking figure. I really, really like it. It's really neat, and for a detailed figure to be put in so many sets, I think is just kind of great. Now, obviously, I couldn't leave out Bo-Katan and Gar Saxon. I think they nailed these figures. I was not a huge fan when I first saw them, but once I had them in hand, everything changed. They are just so cool. And then also, I put the Bad Batch on here. The Bad Batch aren't perfect, but I like them a lot by dint of being the Bad Batch because I think they're a cool design. They're not the perfect figures, so I wouldn't really count them in, like, my favorite figures, but they all, like, look really cool together. I'll say that much. Now, next up, we have a question from longtime fan Commander Grays. If you could pick 3 Muppet figures to be in a Muppet set, what would they be? Now, I'm just assuming you mean, like, any Muppet figures that weren't included in the CMF, but here are the ones that I would love to see as following. Pepe, Rizzo, and Scooter. These are 3 Muppets that were not included. They're 3 essential Muppets that really should have been put in the CMF. They should have done a, like, 16-figure CMF and done them, or taken out Janice and threw in, like, Pepe or Scooter. I don't care which. It doesn't matter to me, but I'd obviously love to see those. Sam Eagle would have been an easy 4th if you wanted a 4th one, and yeah, that's my answer. Next up, we have an interesting question from Duck Alien Vaded. Now, he says, what very iconic LEGO set do you think LEGO will remake that hasn't been touched in ages? Now, first off, in terms of Star Wars, I'm actually, I don't have any confirmation on this, or like any insider info, but I think they'd eventually remake the Clone Walker Battle Pack from 2009. I think it'll be that one or the 2005 one. And I think that's simply for the fact that people love these, like, from what I understand, and I was not into LEGO Star Wars when these were first out. Now, in terms of other themes, I don't know much about other themes, if I'm being honest. Star Wars is really where my bread is buttered. And I know a bit about Disney, but that's really it. But a set I would like to see is one of the first idea sets. I would love to see a Back to the Future DeLorean updated. Looking back at the old model, it was cool back then, but I feel like as times have changed, I would love to see a upgraded DeLorean, whether that be some sort of giant UCS scale type set, or otherwise, I feel like that would be just a great all-around set. And another one would be The Simpsons house. As a person who has now watched 23 seasons of The Simpsons, with about 10 to go, I'm working on it, but I would absolutely love to see The Simpsons house as a set re-released. I heard that was really popular back in the day, back when that was for sale, and I was actually interested in buying it before I even watched The Simpsons, because that's how cool of a set I thought it was, and apparently everyone else. So, I would love to see that one. That one's really expensive right now in the aftermarket, and yeah, I'd say that would be a pretty likely one LEGO would actually revisit, The Simpsons house. So that's my answer. And then let's go into the final one from CW Creations, Ask the Stud. What sets do you hope LEGO will make one day? By the way, love your content. So obviously I assume you mean like original theme, original whatever. Now, I'm just going to throw it out there, and you guys already know what it is. For anyone who's followed the series for any short length of time, you know that I am choosing the Muppet Theater. Now, the Muppet Theater is obviously a classic staple of the Muppet Show, and there's a solid shot LEGO actually makes this after the CMF, pending it doing well. I think there's a solid shot it happens anyway, because supposedly the designers love the Muppets. So that's great. But yeah, so like my friend Bulldozer, who is actually a LEGO Ideas winner, he won for Sesame Street, and he designed a Muppet one, and it looks absolutely stunning. He nailed the details on this little custom set. If LEGO did this, I would actually, like, probably plots, and, like, someone would have to take over the channel, because I don't know what I'd do. Like, I would just be so happy. I'd be, like, 7 of them. But yeah, the Muppet Theater is obviously a must. I would love to see. With that said, that ends this episode of Ask the Stud. Remember to comment your questions down below, and I will answer them. With that said, I will see you guys all in the next one. Remember to peace out and stay awesome.